Hi, welcome to the Mike Paige Doodle Club. I'm Mike Paige, and today we're going to do another holiday drawing. This is going to be a drawing of Santa Claus. We're going to go for kind of the cartoonish version of the classic Norman Rockwell type Santa Claus. So grab a pen or pencil, maybe some markers, colored pencils, whatever you'd like to create your drawing, and grab some paper. Let's get right to it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's all part of it. All right, so to start my Santa, I usually like to start faces with the eye so that whatever mistakes I'm going to make, I've already got the eyes done and I can kind of build around that. So I'm going to start with kind of an upside down letter U, would be the best way to describe that. Then I'm going to make sort of a lower eyelid by coming across there, and you might notice I let the pen go a little bit beyond the edge of the eye to make sort of the wrinkle or the eye crease there. And on the inside I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring it up slightly, and that's actually going to create the nose is going to start from right there. Before I continue, I'm going to go ahead and add the iris and the pupil. I've learned in the past that if I don't finish an eye and I keep drawing, kids can't stand that. So I'm guessing a lot of grown-ups probably can't either. So just in the interest of finishing what we've started, we'll go ahead and put the iris there. And you might notice it's not a perfect circle. I'm just going to try to keep everything kind of parallel. And when you bump into the edge of the eye, that's where you stop it. So this is all kind of staying parallel to that outer edge of the iris. And this one didn't quite bump into the edge of the eyelid, but if I did, I would have just stopped right where I was. And then inside of that, before I fill in my pupil, I'm going to add a reflection. You could even add a second reflection if you wanted to. If you add two, I would say make one noticeably smaller. If they're both really big reflections, sometimes it doesn't look quite right. Now that we've finished that eye, and hopefully kids breathe the sigh of relief that the eye is complete, I'm going to go ahead and just continuing this line that I said was starting the nose, I'm going to swing down from that and make kind of a backwards letter C. And you can decide how big you want the nose. I actually wish I had made it slightly bigger than that, but that's okay. If you haven't made yours yet, what I would have liked to have done is come out a little more and swung down a tiny bit more, but that's all right. And then at the edge of this, I'm going to bring that back a little more. And then to make the nostril, I'm going to come down and back up. This is almost like a very rounded letter V that's been stomped on. I'm going to put some glasses on top of here. But first we'll go ahead and make the other eye. I'm going to make him winking. And to do that, we'll make a curved line like this. And then we'll kind of turn that into an arrow. Not kind of, that is an arrow, isn't it? That's what you're saying, you're right. Now that I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and make the glasses. I might hook that eyelid slightly. Then we can make the glasses. I would say start on the far side. Now if you're going to be coloring this, gold would be a great color to be using here. I'm just going to kind of fill it in as black. But if you've got a gold marker or something, that would really be great. for his glasses. But again, if you don't have them, don't worry about it. You don't need fancy art supplies to make something. Nothing wrong with a ballpoint pen or a pencil or whatever you've got. So I'm making rectangular glasses. You could also make small circular glasses depending on what style you're looking for Santa to have. The trick when you make glasses is getting them to be pretty symmetrical from one eye over to the other. When I draw a portrait of somebody that has glasses, it is much harder than drawing a portrait of someone that does not, because not only do you have to get both eyes to look the same and symmetrical and in the same proportion and all that, but then you have to do that with glasses, and depending on what style glasses they have, it can be really difficult getting them to match up when the face is angled slightly away like this one is. Now this is a cartoon pair of glasses, so it's much easier, but it is still a challenge to make two of the same thing. Now if you're right-handed like me, I just set you up for failure there a little bit, and I apologize. I started with this side, but if you're right-handed, a lot of times it's easier going with the left side first, because that way, as you move over, now you can see the previous eye or hand or whatever it is that you're drawing. And opposite of that, if you're left-handed, you want to do it how I just did it and then work your way to the left. Again, I apologize if you're right-handed and you said, well, I can't see what I just drew, Mike. Why'd you do that? Whoops. All right, so next I'm going to make his cheek over here. And I'm just going to kind of kick the pen out. I started to kick the pen out, and then I went back in to fix it. Kick the pen out in a little curve. And then after that, I'm going to come over to this side. I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to kick this cheek out in a nice rounded line. You want very big cheeks on Santa. Next I'm going to start the mustache, and it's going to be a nice handlebar mustache that's curving out. But rather than just do a quick swirl, I'm going to start with a curve here and a curve here. Then I'm going to make the bottom part of the mustache. Now, if you wanted this to be a skinnier mustache, don't start quite as far down as I did. You could be a little closer up to the nose. When I draw Santa, I like to give him a big, thick mustache. So I'm going to start with that basic shape. And then this mustache is going to swoop way down here. I actually started to mark the paper already, but that's good. It kind of gives you guys a reference point. I'll do kind of a quick dotted line. So I'm going to be coming back up towards this cheek. And I'll hook in. And that can meet up with this first curve that we had. And then I'll go ahead and do the other side while we're at it. Come over here. Bring it up. Now, I don't want to just go like this and join it all the way back over. I want to have a few spots that come back in. And then same thing over here. This is kind of a tricky angle with how my wrist is, but I think I can pull this off. Something kind of like that. If you wanted to do a more basic beginner mustache, you could, of course, just swirl it out and come across. Hopefully you took the challenge of adding in a little more detail. But if not, that's all right. You can try it again next time. This mustache, where it came in, it didn't quite meet up with that cheek. So now I'm going to continue the curve of that cheek until I meet the mustache. Yours might have lined up perfectly, which would be awesome. But if not, you can just cheat that and come back and fix it. Now I'm going to make his mouth. And to do that, I'm going to make a quick, I don't want it to be perfectly flat. I'm curving it slightly. So this will be his mouth in here, and this will be the top of his lower lip. And I'm going to go ahead and shade in the mouth so we know what we're looking at there. Then for the bottom of the lower lip, I'm just going to kind of kick the pen across. And then what I'll do is scribble in the top of the beard where it meets the lip. And now we're going to come out here and start adding in the big Santa beard here. Actually, you know what? I lied. We're going to do his hat first, because otherwise where the pom-pom hangs will be in front of the beard, so we'll do that first. So I'm going to come just above where his cheek is. I'm going to make a line coming across. I'm kind of making it a little bit wavy to make it look more like a furry hat. If I do a straight line, it doesn't quite have that look of fuzz. If you watched the episode where we drew a Christmas tree, this is kind of that controlled scribble again, is all it really is. And again, controlled scribble out here. We'll make the furry edge of the hat, and then we'll come across. Again, you could just make a straight line, but if you want it to have sort of the appearance of a fuzzy hat, if you do sort of a controlled scribble there, you can add a couple more fuzz spots in here. And then to make the top of the hat, I'm going to come over here. Kind of running out of real estate here. I'm all the way up at the top of the paper. Hopefully you've still got room. If not, don't be afraid to just stop where you are when you hit the edge of the paper. Don't try to squeeze in every last detail, because then your proportions get thrown way off in a hurry. I've learned that one the hard way more than a few times. Then we're going to swing way around like this to make the hat. And you can decide how long you want his hat to hang. I typically prefer a longer Santa hat. I might even go longer than that was, like that. But you can decide where you want it. And then I'm going to come back up on the other side. Sort of like that. And don't be afraid when you're reaching the end of your line, go ahead and, if you're using a pen or pencil, especially if you're using a marker actually, if you kind of kick the pen or pencil or marker out, your line will taper from being a bolder line to tapering to a really thin line. Then to make the pom-pom, again, controlled scribble in a circle. So rather than just drawing a circle, I'm kind of scribbling around a circle. And then I'm going to give him some very bushy Wilford Brimley eyebrows to match that Wilford Brimley mustache. Rest in peace, Wilford Brimley. 2020 has been rough. And then we'll make the other eyebrow over here. And again, big bushy eyebrows for Santa. All right, now, so I said before we were going to go ahead and make the beard. Now we're ready for the beard. So I'm going to come back here, do kind of a quick scribble to make, this would be his sideburns here. And then what I'm going to do is figure out where I want the front edge of his beard. So if this is his cheek, I don't want his beard to start way in here. It would look like he's got no chin. And we want our Santa to have a big full beard. So wherever this curve is for his cheek, you want your beard starting a little bit outside of that. And go ahead and bring it out a little bit first. And you can pretty much do it the same way we did the bottom of this mustache. So we're just doing some quick curves, and then we'll come back in from this way. And again, rather than just doing one long straight line, we'll do some disconnected curves, sort of like that. Now at this point, if you wanted to, you could do this. Or if you want, this could all just be beard. You could also add a few quick curved lines to add some texture to the beard. Your call there. You could add a sprig of holly on his hat somewhere if you want. I'm going to add a couple of wrinkles up there. We can put some holly. I don't know how many berries holly has. It's either 2 or 3, I think, usually when you see the sprig. I'll go ahead and make a third one. If you were coloring these would be red. Then we're just going to go kick our pen out in the direction that you want the holly leaves coming out. And then we're going to make sort of the Golden Gate Bridge. We're just going to do a couple quick swoops. 1, 2, out to the end. And then do the same thing upside down. 1, 2, out to the end. Sort of like that. And then real quick, we'll just add his belly coming out and a shoulder. And then if we wanted, we could add the fur down the center of the suit. Your call there. All right, I hope you enjoyed following along with the Santa drawing. I hope yours came out great. If it didn't, try it again. Second time always comes out a little bit better. And again, don't be afraid to make mistakes. This is a little bit of a challenge if you're a beginner, but go ahead and try adding some of these angled lines instead of doing it super basic. And the controlled scribbles, that's a great technique that's very handy in a lot of things, so that's a great thing to practice as well. I hope you enjoyed following along, and happy holidays to everybody. Thanks for watching.
All right, kids, now that you've finished your doodles, color them in and then share them with both Mike Paige and Medfield TV. We're going to take those images and we're going to put them all over our station. Can't wait to see what you guys make.